Mr. Thwala, we'll start with you because you are here in studio with us. Good evening and thank you so much for your time. It's been a few months now that we've been discussing this issue of the registration of Spaza shops. The deadline is here. Tomorrow, we're just hours away. Talk to me about your members. Are they registered? And how did you find the process of getting them there?
No, thank you very much, Naledi. Good evening to the viewers at home and good evening to my fellow panelists. We're happy to be here. Yes, the deadline is tomorrow. We've engaged with the people to say, let's go and register Spaza shop. Because remember, we are now moving the Spaza shop industry from the informal to the formal, so that people are able to run Spaza shop properly. Now, yes, the majority of the people, they went and registered. Yes, some of them, they had some issues, because remember the documents that you need, to register a Spaza shop, it's a lengthy document. But what is important is that you've started the process. Because what is important is about starting the process. Unlike people sitting at home and then waiting up until the deadline, now towards the deadline, and then a person come and say, hey, we need to extend. For example, unfortunately, the deadline will not be extended because we mean business when we say, let's register a Spaza shop. Because remember, Naledi, it's very bad that we had to lose our kids to be where we are. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, we really need to take this very seriously. Tomorrow, I'm in Northern Cape. We're doing the Township Economy Expo where we'll be dealing with the Spaza shop issue. We've got a number of people that are running Spaza shop that will be in the room. We're now saying, after you've registered, what is the next step? You remember the issue of the 500 million from government to assist Spaza shop. Now we need then government to tell us what is the process of people accessing that. Remember, it's not about money, but it's all about government assisting you in terms of the regulations, the compliance, and making sure that we also assist our Spaza shop in terms of stock.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into some of the challenges because I think they're important. We know that some Spaza shops have complained about even the cost of this registration period.
But also, another thing that I want to bring into the table, Naledi, is that the people that wants to start Spaza shop, let's say from Monday, that's when then you start the process. Then you complete the process before you can start trading. The message is clear to say, if your Spaza shop is not registered and you don't have any proof that you've applied, meaning you can't then trade up until you get the necessary documents. But at the end of the day is we need to respect our country's laws. But at the end of the day, we are in a point that we need to make sure that as businesses as well, we respect the corporate laws of the country and follow those laws. I think it's critical. And then also our people from the businesses in the township, they've acknowledged that, they're embracing that, because at the end of the day, it also becomes difficult for them to operate if they are not compliant. For example, they can't even access support from government. They can't even access those funds because they are not compliant. Now, the best way, yes, we know and understand it's not easy to comply, but if you're a business person, it's one thing that you need to know that if I start a business, these are the processes that I need to follow, and in order for me to operate professionally, these are the things that I need to do. But at the end of the day, it's not about you making money, it's also about you, providing a solution to the communities. Now, as running a Spaza shop, you're providing convenience, but convenience mustn't be a hindrance to the health of the communities and the consumers. Yeah. This is why we need to protect the consumers at the end of the day.
I'm going to ask a question to all three of our panelists in a moment. And I want to give you a second maybe to really think about it. Because how we got to this point as a country where we said Spaza shops need to register was coming out of children losing their lives as a result of what we were calling food poisoning or poisoned food that was being sold in some of these establishments. And it was in various parts of the country. We don't have a lot of those cases being reported at the moment, which is quite interesting what was done there that we brought the cases down. But how does the registration of Spaza shops actually fix that problem? I think that's an important question for us to really, really think about. Directly the registration of Spaza shops, what does that do for keeping our children alive, especially now that we might be seeing businesses that are family businesses that have been running for decades, possibly facing jail time. What's the recommendation here on how we start to, see them move into a formalized sector quicker without needing now to be criminalized for trying to put food on the table, which is how many people could possibly view this?
Remember, Naledi, when you talk about township economy, you're talking about 40% informal and 60% formal. Yes, we are saying we are not saying we formalize all the informal economies, but what we then do, we can then professionalize the informal. But the Spaza shop that contributes 150 to 180 billion, it can't sit on the informal. It needs to come. Another thing that I want to bring, Naledi, also we need to make sure that some of the things we become ignorant about. We've talked about this registration of this Spaza shop. We're saying organizations like us are here to assist people who've got challenges. If you don't wake up, dress up, and show up as a business person and say, I need help, you can't be arrested if you've got a proof that says, I've done 1, 2, 3, I've moved my application, I'm now on 50% or on 40%. Then we can then say, okay, these are the things that you can't get. What are the reasons you are not getting this? And you'll be assisted. Yeah. It's not like we're now throwing you in the wilderness whereby now your business will be closed, you're not going to be operating and all that. But we need not to be ignorant. We need to make sure that at the end of the day, if you're a business person, go to the like-minded people, associate with people that are doing the same. You can't then say you alone, you're the only one that are not getting assisted in terms of getting application. Yeah. For me, I don't really buy that.
I imagine that we'll have this conversation in the next few weeks as we see those raids and inspections take place in various communities. Mr. Bheki Thwala, thank you so much for your time. Of course, he's the president of the Township Economic Commission.